Hey everyone, today we're finally going to be checking out the updated versions of the Sympl Commuter Pack. I've gotten tons of requests to feature these on the channel, and with good reason. The original version of the Commuter Pack was already a sleek and impressive everyday carry option, but it seems like Sympl really listened to customer feedback and took things to the next level with the upgrades that they've added to these bags. They now also have two different sizes, a 20 and 24 liter size, and a couple of different fabrics. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about what it's been like to test them over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the Commuter Pack has a minimal style that reminds me of many of the other popular kind of modern tech bags from companies like Bellroy, Air, and Evergoods. It can be a little bit sleeker or more subdued depending on the fabric that you end up going with, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. But in general, to me, it has a great style. It feels very versatile, like something that's gonna blend in nicely into an office setting. It's gonna be great for traveling and just nice for walking around the city. And then as far as the materials, the Commuter Pack comes in a 420D Recore nylon and an 840D ballistic nylon. I've used a couple of Sympl's bags in the past with the 420D Recore nylon. It's always held up very well. I like the weather resistance that it offers in addition to the durability. And then with the ballistic nylon, this is a fabric that I've had a lot of experience with over the years. It's always held up well, also offers a nice amount of weather resistance. So either one is gonna do a great job. I think it'll mainly come down to more of an aesthetic preference. I do like that the ballistic nylon has a more subdued appearance versus the shiny, sleeker look of the Recore nylon. But again, I think that they both are solid enough for what most people will need for their day-to-day or traveling. And then beyond that, there's just really solid components all throughout the bag, including some well-protected YKK zippers. Continuing along the outside of the bag, both versions offer an external water bottle pocket. They have this zippered style compartment that offers a nice amount of elasticity. This will be able to handle my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler pretty comfortably. You can slide in there, and I like that the compartment isn't exploding or anything like that. And then when it's not in use, I'm always a fan of this zippered system to just kind of maintain a cleaner overall aesthetic. Similar style on the 24 liter size. This one is just gonna be able to hold maybe a slightly larger bottle, but for me, 26 ounces is the size that I normally carry, so great to see that either size can handle it very easily. And as we continue along the rest of the exterior, the features are gonna be very similar between the two bags. I'll call out some of the differences as we go along. On the branding front, it seems like with each version of their bag, Sympl is getting more and more subtle. You still have it here on the front, so the Sympl Studios logo down at the bottom, but I like that it's a darker color. It blends in more into the exterior. It's a little smaller, and so, great to see them continue to iterate on that, and it doesn't really bother me. It's not super prominent. And then you're gonna have some great handles at the top, really nice cushioning on these, plenty of space. You have on the top and on the side, so if you wanna carry these as a briefcase, you will be able to. So again, nice size here, and you have some attachment points next to the handle if you wanna clip on additional accessories with a carabiner. So lots of options there. And both bags also do a pretty good job of standing up on their own, particularly when they're loaded out. You can see that the 20 liter size leans forward a little bit, but even with that, it's been able to stand up consistently. Same for the 24, so it's been great to be able to place these down next to me and access the pockets when I've needed to. Moving into the capacity, the bag is offered in a 20 and 24 liter size, both of which feel very versatile. They don't seem quite as different when I'm wearing them as I would have expected. The biggest difference in the dimensions seems to be in the depth, but the 24 does feel a little bit bigger. In general though, both of these are gonna be great daily bag options. The 20 liter, of course, if you don't want something quite as large, is still gonna be very capable. I was able to hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me, Neither one felt super bulky or overwhelmingly large while wearing it. And then if you need a little bit of extra capacity, the 24 liter will give that to you. But I think that both of these are going to be the type of thing that I would be comfortable using for just walking around the city, jumping on a public transit, and carrying onto a variety of domestic and international airlines. And with the 20 liter in particular, I would feel comfortable using it as a personal item. I think the 24 liter could still, work on some of the more lenient airlines, but it might start to get close to the limit on the stricter ones. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bags have been really comfortable to wear. I really like these straps that Sympl uses. They offer plenty of cushioning. They feel really soft and comfortable right out of the box. On the inside, they have a nice breathable mesh to help prevent moisture from building up. And they also have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. And then I also like the contoured shape of the strap. They have some attachment points here where you can hang your sunglasses, clip on a light, and you have an adjustable sternum strap with a magnetic buckle, as well as some strap management on the straps themselves. And as far as the back panel, this has also felt comfortable. It's a more rigid padding that's well distributed throughout the back. You have a similar style here on both sizes of the bag. And so it's gonna offer plenty of support, particularly when this is loaded out and you're wearing it for a longer period of time. There's also some good air channels here to provide you with ventilation while you're walking around. I do wish that the style of the padding here was more similar to the one that's on the straps. I'm just a big fan of this softer material versus the more rigid material that Sympl has used in the past. And so it'd be great to see a version with that softer padding in the future. But in general, it has felt comfortable and again, very supportive. And another update here is the luggage pass-through, which is in an orientation that allows you to rest this on your suitcase standing up. And so it makes it easy to get to, your laptop and other items while you're rolling it or, going through security. So definitely like the improvements here. This has worked great so far. Jumping into the organizational options, the layout has been updated from the previous version, and it's going to be pretty similar between the two sizes of the bag. The biggest difference that I noticed is that the larger 24 liter size has an additional quick access pocket at the top, which is always nice to have. It's just an easy area to get to here. Pretty decent amount of space, a good spot for things like headphones, charging cables, maybe your phone while you're going through security. And you don't have that on the smaller 20 liter size. But beyond that, the layouts are gonna be very, very similar. So I'm gonna just focus on one bag at a time. The loadouts that I have in them at the moment are a little bit different. The 20 liter size has more of a daily carry style loadout. And so starting off on the front, you have a zippered compartment with a vertical orientation. So it's gonna be great for when you're using this in briefcase mode or you swing the bag around. You have a nice zipper garage here at the top, and then a good amount of space here on the inside. I like that it has dedicated volume, so it's able to handle some bulkier items like my sunglasses with their case. I have my USB-C hub and its charging cables for all of my devices. I was also able to store the alpaca admin pouch in here, and it still had some leftover capacity, which is really nice. And on the inside, you also have some built-in organization, a couple of slip pockets here with a nice elastic material, one larger one, again, maybe for some charging cables, a portable battery, and then a slightly smaller one that'll be a good spot for a pen or some sort of a multi-tool. Above that, you have a compartment that essentially works like a built-in tech pouch. This is similar to what was on the previous version. And so you have a zipper that allows this to open up, and then an accordion style layout here with some different organizational options. And so on the front, you have a few elastic slip pockets, and this is where I have my charging cable at the moment. And on the other one, I have a headlamp. You also have a little lanyard with a magnetic attachment here, which I am a big fan of. You can just take this off, get to your keys easily when you need to. And then you have this divider here that separates the compartment into two kind of primary sections. And you have a zipper in the middle. I'm just using it to store my scissors, but nice amount of space there. And then on the back, you have a few elastic slip pockets. I have just my lighter multi-tool here at the moment, which I like to have with me. Great fidget toy as well. And then my AirPods, and I have a retractable USB-C cable. So I like the variety of organizational options that are provided. Here, you do kind of have to pick and choose which ones you use. It starts to get a little tight if you try to use all of them, but it's great to have options. And then on the back, you have a more padded sleeve that's got this soft material and a magnetic closure, which I've used, as you'll see in the other bag, to store my iPad, but good spot for maybe something like your phone, e-reader or anything that you want to have just a little bit more protection. And then on the same side as the handle, you have another zippered compartment that can work as a secondary water bottle area. So you have, again, well-protected zipper here. And at the moment, I'm using this to store a memo bottle. This compartment doesn't expand outward in the same way as the actual outer water bottle pocket. And so if you put something bulkier in here, it will start to take up space from the main compartment, but it works perfectly for something like that memo bottle. This could also be a good spot to store, an umbrella or other taller item that you want easier access to. And so you can also use this for tech accessories, for pouches. I always like having a zippered pocket like this in this style. I think that it offers a good bit of versatility, and so it's cool that you actually have both options included on this bag. And then on the back, you have a dedicated laptop compartment, and I really like the updates that have been made here. You have a little bit of theft deterrence. Down near the bottom, you can thread the zipper pull through this loop, and then it's also vertically oriented, so you can reach in from the top and get to your device while it's on your suitcase or if it's under the seat in front of you. So really nice update there. And on the inside here, you have a nice amount of padding along with the soft lining, and this is properly suspended off the bottom of the ground. When you place this down, it's not making contact, so that's a great improvement to see as well. And then this will be able to handle a 15 or 16-inch laptop comfortably. Currently, I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro in here. Of course, the 24-liter size will also be able to handle similar laptops, and so pulling my device out. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside and that soft lining on both sides. This also comes up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker laptop, it should be able to fit in there pretty comfortably. And so with the amount of padding that's offered here and the fact that this is suspended and it has a soft lining, it really feels like my device is going to be very well protected while I'm running around. Another cool thing to see in this compartment is that you have this section at the top with this magnetic closure here. That is a great spot for storing some of your tech accessories. And so here I have in the slip pockets that are included a Magic Mouse, and then I also have a portable hard drive tossed in here. You could use this to store a laptop charger or other accessories, and I like that because you have this pouch here on the front. You could also potentially put a smaller tech case in here if you need to. So really love the thoughtful kind of organization to keep all of the stuff related to your laptop in this section and easy to get to. And then moving into the main compartment, this does have a clamshell style opening, and I like how smooth the zippers are even though they have the AquaGuard protection. And so opening this up, you have a nice visibility into this main area. This is the 20-liter size that we're looking at now, and I have it with more of a daily loadout. And so a couple of pouches in here, the Civic Access pouch 1 liter, the half liter, I have an Air Tech case in there, my Beats Studio wireless headphones, and the Civic Access pouch 2 liters. All of those things fit in there without any issue. It still had some leftover space at the top if I wanted to toss in an additional accessory. And then on the back, you have a slip pocket that'll be a good area to kind of separate out some shoes or maybe notebook, folder. And on the back, you have a few additional slip pockets that'll be great for other tech and EDC accessories that you don't want floating down to the bottom. You have a slim one in the middle, again, for multi-tool or something like that. And then a pocket that is for an AirTag or similar tracker here near the top. And with the space that's offered here, this could definitely work as a minimal travel bag. I'll load it out with the packing cubes that I normally use when we empty out the 24-liter size, as that one is more set up for minimal travel at the moment. And on the inside here, you can also see this outer compartment that I was showing earlier on the side. It's got this gusset that kind of expands into the inside. If you end up using it to store something like a water bottle, it can handle my 20-ounce bottle without any issue, but you can see the space that it starts to take up on the inside. So, just something to keep in mind as you're kind of organizing the bag, but nice to have that option. And then on the other side, you have a few additional zippered compartments that offer a nice mesh, and so they will adapt around the items that are on the inside. I didn't really use this one on the bottom, as I normally don't, because my stuff is in the pouches here. And then you have one near the top, which is great for slimmer items. I might often throw a couple of cables in here, a notebook. At the moment, I just have my suction cup mount. And so that's pretty much it for the 20-liter size. I'll go ahead and bring the 24-liter size back up. And as I was saying, this one has more of a minimal travel loadout at the moment. And so I will empty that out and fill it up with all the daily items to just get a sense of the size differences. And so again, clamshell style layout here, and my typical setup with an extra pair of shoes. This is a pair of Toms, and then I have the smaller Peak Design packing cube in here and the larger one. Both fit very comfortably along with the shoes. It didn't feel like the bag was exploding or anything like that. Same layout here on both bags as far as the slip pocket. The biggest difference, as I was saying earlier, is that you do have that quick access pocket from the top, which pokes into the main area. And so, it's nice to have that extra option, but if you fill it up, that's something that you'll have to keep in mind. And it does come over the air tag pocket, so I like that it makes it a little more hidden, but beyond that, you have the same layout here with the pockets. Same thing on the lid. You have the 2 mesh zippered pockets. And so, tossing in the daily loadout that I had with all the pouches, the Civic Access pouch, 2 liters, the headphones, air tech case, Civic Access pouch 1 liter. I had the Civic Access pouch ½ liter. And so all the same items fit there as we saw with the 20 liter. There's just maybe a little bit of leftover space. The bag doesn't feel quite as full as the other one did. And I'll go ahead and close that up. You can see that it's still a great daily bag size. I'm always a fan of a 24 liter bag. At the top, you have the quick access pocket where I could toss in my charging cable and my headphones. You can see that those types of things fit in there without any issue. And then beyond that, you have the same layout that we saw earlier. So a zippered pocket on the front with the slip pockets, and you can toss all those same items back in there as far as the alpaca admin pouch, the adapters that I had, my sunglasses, no problems there. And then the laptop area is going to be very similar. You still have the theft deterrents here, the dedicated compartment, and then on the back, maybe just a little bit more space, but generally the same layout. So super protective, easily slide in my 14-inch laptop, suspended from the bottom. You have the tech section here at the top for anything that you want to keep close to your laptop. So I'll zip that up. And then you have the tech compartment that we saw earlier with all of the internal organization. As I had said, I'm using this to store my iPad mini just to get to it a little bit easier. You can see that that's probably at the limit for the size of tablet that you could store in this area horizontally like this. So if you have a similar sized Kindle or gaming system or something, you might be able to place it in here. But for the iPad mini with a case, that's been nice to be able to reach down and get to it without any issue. And beyond that, this is all the same as far as the layout. And so I like that it still gives you some flexibility while providing organization if you want to use it. So as expected, everything that was in the 20 liter can definitely fit easily in the 24 liter size, but I'll go ahead and bring the 20 back and load it up with the minimal travel setup to just kind of showcase how that would feel. And so this is able to handle that same larger Peak Design packing cube comfortably, and I was able to toss in the smaller packing cube without any issue. And I can fit the shoes in here as well, but it starts to feel pretty full. It doesn't feel as spacious on the depth as the 24 liter size did. So it's comfortably closing, it's not exploding or anything like that, but that's about as full as I would make that area. You still have full use of the external compartments if you want to use them. There's still volume here. You can still use the tech area at the top. This tablet fits in here as well. And yeah, it's gonna be a very versatile size regardless. If you go with it, you can still use it as a minimal travel bag. And so I really love that Sympl not only made so many great updates as far as the layout with the laptop compartment, the luggage pass-through, some of the organizational options, but that they provided the 2 size options, which I think are gonna be very versatile. I personally, in general, just like 24 liter bags as they give me that extra bit of flexibility, but I've been impressed with how much I've enjoyed using the 20 liter as well. And so I think either one will be great. And of course, the fabric choices will really come down to your aesthetic preferences. And if you maybe want that additional sort of peace of mind that I feel as far as the weather resistance with the shinier one. But both of these are gonna be fantastic if you're looking for a sleek, minimal and versatile tech and everyday carry backpack. And so to wrap up, you can currently purchase these on the company's site. The 20-liter size is going to come in at about $240, and then the 24-liter size is going to come in at around $260. And so definitely an investment. These are in a premium category, but it does feel like you're getting gear that's going to be very solidly built and offer a nice feature set that will compare well against some of the other similar bags in their respective categories. And so as I was testing these out, the first bag they made me think of is the Air City Pack Pro 2, which also has a very kind of modern, techie aesthetic. Super durable materials. It's offered in ballistic nylon, X-Pack. I believe they still have ultra versions as well. It's going to offer a super comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, clamshell style opening. It comes in at around 24 liters. And then it has, a nice organizational layout, some quick access pockets, a dedicated and suspended laptop compartment, dual external water bottle pockets. So it offers a lot of the same benefits as this one here. And if you're looking for something with this type of style with a slightly different layout, then that's going to be an excellent option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the reworked Toshi Pack. That one comes in at about 20 liters and it also has a clamshell style opening. Super comfortable harness system on that one, luggage pass-through, dual external water bottle pockets, great organizational layout that doesn't go overboard. It gives you just enough kind of options. You have a dedicated laptop compartment. And so again, kind of a similar category of bag. And if you're looking for something that's gonna have a more subdued aesthetic, then that's gonna be a great one to keep in mind. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Evergood CTB. That's offered in a 20, 26 liter and 35 liter size. So you have a couple of different options. I really enjoyed the 20 liter for everyday carry use and also as a personal item on some of the stricter airlines. The 26 liter size to me is a great kind of minimal travel bag size that can still work as a daily bag. It's a little bit larger, but absolutely love using both of those. They have Evergood's typical kind of minimal style that's a little crossover-y, so it can work well if you're taking it into the outdoors. It's gonna offer one of my favorite organizational layouts. Really great quick access pockets, solid external water bottle pockets, got a comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, dedicated laptop compartment. So really just does so many things well. It's gonna be very durable and you can get it in nylon material. You can also see wax canvas versions now. There's an X-Pack collection. And so great to have a little bit of variety on the size and the different options that are available. Regardless though, you're gonna get something that's solid with a great organizational layout. And so if you want something that offers similar benefits to this, but it's just gonna have a little bit more of a rugged and minimal vibe, then those are gonna be some great options to consider. With that being said, the updated versions of the Sympl Commuter Pack hold up very well against all those options. Definitely some of the most exciting new releases of the year. I can see why people have been talking about these bags so much. It feels like Sympl thought of so many things and really took it to the next level with these updates. And so if you're looking for something that's gonna be durable, that's gonna offer plenty of functionality and a cool style, then these are gonna be a great option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the updated commuter packs and how they compare to some of the other popular tech and EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Sympl for sending the bags for me to test out and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.